Brent Birnbaum.
Cam Bird.
How are you, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. It's good to have you, man.
Oh, it's awesome to be here.
Nice little studio. Thanks for the coffee.
Oh, of course. I'm still blown away by how nice the studio is.
Yeah,
like I was like, I mean, you know, podcasts. Like, I mean, I have a podcast. We just do it in our apartment. But like, I'm like, this is the works.
Yeah, this is nice. This is the real deal. But it's, you know, it's got its pros and cons. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always work. Mm-hmm. Because so many people use this. It's like a community one, so it gets flogged by people. But overall, I'm very happy. It's cheap. It doesn't. The studio is the least of my worries.
Yeah.
And it's actually nice to get out of the house and come down here.
Because
it's kind of like
you got cool people watching too.
People. I got like my friends in the cafe. So yeah, it's nice, man. It does get really hot in here in summer.
Gotcha.
Be warned, it may get a little hot and steamy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the give and go of it, because we initially were going to start out doing it with the studio, but like just trying to figure out people's schedules and aligning it with the studio, we're like, oh, it's just easier to just keep in the just self-produce.
Yeah. So I did my friend's podcast in his living room the other day, and I preferred it.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was way better. I was way more comfortable. I was like, I don't know, maybe because it was someone else's podcast. I felt I was just really relaxed.
Mm-hmm. There is something about the apartment setting that's like, and I think that's like for us, like that's kind of why we like it. It just like, and we can also play with the background a lot more. Like it's a comic book podcast, so we can have like the comic books in the background. But there's also something cool just about doing something like this.
Yeah, hell yeah. So tell me about your podcast. How did that come about?
Yeah, definitely. So the podcast kind of came about. I would always talk in the green room with my buddy Troy Bond, and we are both huge comic book nerds, and we'd always just be talking comic books, shooting the shit, and just having just like these kind of random comic book conversations. And he was just like, why don't we just take these conversations, turn it into a podcast? And so we started filming in 2023. We added our buddy Slater to it, a close friend. She's not as in the weeds with comic books as him and I are, but like it's kind of adds that kind of fresh perspective of like someone's like more casual, like trying to get into comic books as opposed to being like super comic nerdy, and then trying to add like obviously the stand-up comedic takes to it.
Has she started getting more into comic books since doing the podcast?
I feel like accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like she doesn't realize how much she knows about comic books now.
Old Slater. I'm actually got her booked in for the pod next week. So.
Oh, yeah, Slater's great.
Yeah, she's a legend. She's so cool. So what's the name of your podcast?
It's called Secret Identity.
There you go, everybody. Mm-hmm. Follow that one.
Follow Secret Identity Pod on YouTube, Instagram, TikToks, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hell yeah, bro. And you actually do you do like, I know you obviously everyone that you do the podcast with are all comics, but do you do touring for the podcast as well?
So we've it's interesting. We've done a live show before. We did one as part of New York Comedy Festival last year, but Troy, because he's got a big social presence, just a fantastic comic, like has a huge following, and so like he'll headline a lot of places, and Slater and I will a lot of times open for him. So we'll kind of have like unofficial touring. It's like really just us opening for Troy. But
Gotcha. That's awesome. You guys seem to have a really good connection, the three of you guys.
Oh, thanks, man. It's fun. It's just kind of like we've all been friends for like 7-8 years now, so it just kind of organically happens.
Yeah. And was it all through comedy that you guys met initially?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like all through Broadway Comedy Club.
Yeah, hell yeah. Nice. So what is it with Americans and comic books? Because in Australia, I don't even know if I've ever walked past a comic book store in Australia.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know anyone that reads comic books. Obviously, Marvel movies and stuff came out, and they're a thing. I'm sure there are people that enjoy comics, but like I said, it was never anything. Why? When was it a big social thing in America? And what was it about it that grabbed you?
Ooh, how much time do we have?
We have plenty of time.
It's a great question. I think there's an escapism aspect to it. Comic books really kind of came about in like the late 30s, early 40s. That's when they first started to come about. For myself, kind of as a Jewish guy from New York, comic books were all created by Jewish guys. So it's just like Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Will Eisner, like all these guys kind of created these interesting, fantastical characters. And I think when comic books came out in America, it was a pretty rough time. It was during World War II. It was during the Great Depression. So I think it again served as a real escape for people. A character like Batman was really a reflection of the times. Like Batman was this very dark, gritty guy, very kind of reflective of like these noir characters like Sam Spade. And that's kind of how people felt at the time. They were upset. They were at war. All their money was gone. And comic books kind of adapted with the times. So I think comic books really saw a boom in the 60s during this real kind of counterculture or reverency. And I think a lot of that was that Batman TV show in the 1960s, which if you're not familiar, there was this Batman show with Adam West that came out in the 60s. And whereas Batman in the 30s and 40s was very dark and very gritty, this Batman was ridiculous. Like he would surf. He would make puns all the time. Like he was a really silly character, and again reflected that kind of counterculture, like at Andy Warhol, like a guy who's saying, "Oh, you think painting is art? Let me take a Campbell's soup can. That's art." And I think that kind of, because of the popularity of that show, comic books began to reflect that. They became a lot more silly and fun, and it became easier for people to read them. And then in like the 2000s, again, you saw this huge boom in movies with the X-Men movies, the Spider-Man movies, eventually the MCU. And as these movies became the most popular movies in the world, people started reading the comic books more. I mean, that's kind of why Troy and I got back into comic books, because like we loved the Marvel movies, we loved the DC movies, but it got to a point of saturation. There were just too many movies, and it was just too hard to keep up with. The quality was dipping, and it reminded us of how good the original comics were. And so started reading the comics again.
There you go. Interesting. Now, this is a really dumb question, but for someone who doesn't read comics, I don't think I've ever picked up a comic. Do you just read it like a normal book? Like left to right, top down?
Yeah. Unless
Start with the left page, move to the right page.
Unless it's manga, which is like Japanese comic books, then it's right to left.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Does that trick your brain? Does that
a little bit? Yeah. But that's because I'm dumb. That's because I'm a stupid person.
Oh man. Well, listen, I think it's fantastic. Like, I'm into any art. You know, anything that can, if anything can make you escape. Like I like reading,
right?
And I love that. I love that when you're in a book and you're just not thinking about anything else and you're hooked.
Absolutely,
there's nothing better. It's better than a movie. It's better than anything.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and I can imagine why people enjoy comics, because it's also got that visual aspect too. So it must be cool.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. I studied literature in college. I mean, I love books too, but there is something about that artwork that really just kind of grabs you. And I get why people are like, oh, comic books are dumb. It's just like picture books. And I'm like, but if you really dive in, it's true. It is the the artwork does make it a little sillier in a sense, but you also get a chance to see these incredible artists like in a whole different medium. Like there's this guy, Alex Ross, love. What he does is he takes watercolor and applies it to comic books. And so every issue looks like a painting that you would see in the Met.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
So comic books are still done by hand? Okay, so they have...
Sometimes, or digitally. It kind of depends.
Yeah, I wonder when the skill of hand drawing will just be wiped out because people will just AI the whole thing.
I think that's a big concern. Not for me, because I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
But I think just in general, the idea of, will this take away people's jobs? Like, because I don't think writing... Well, maybe writing will be replaced by it. That would suck.
I don't know. I mean, I've been using ChatGPT a lot more lately.
For stand-up, or?
No. Fuck no. I don't know how you could use it for stand-up, because it doesn't... look, maybe one day you can. I don't know. But just for...
I hope not.
Just for like research.
Yeah.
Research on things, it's fantastic. Like I had a blood test the other day. I ran it through that. And because I didn't really quite understand what the doctor told me. I ran through the blood test. I got way more information from ChatGPT than the doctor gave me.
Yeah.
Like about what vitamins I should be taking and everything.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing. It truly is amazing.
And Google's trying to keep up too, because you see now with these AI overviews, like when you put something into Google, they're trying to do what ChatGPT does.
I mean, it's just... Yeah, I don't know where it's going, but it's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
I can see how the humans could get replaced.
Totally.
It's very easy for me to visualize it now, because I'm like, this is already smarter than any doctor that I've ever spoken to.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the concept of the Matrix definitely feels like it could happen. I mean, I know there are some people that think we're already in a simulation, If that's the case, I don't really care.
Yeah. Well,
Nothing I can do about it.
We're having fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time. I always felt that way about the Matrix. I was like, why would I ever want to leave the Matrix? Like, if I found out that this entire world was a simulation being controlled by robots, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't change it.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually kind of a good point. Like, whatever, it is what it is. Just don't send me out there.
Exactly. And there's like that character that gets released from the Matrix, and then he just wants to go back in.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to remember anything. I want to just go back to my life in the Matrix. And everyone's like, oh, you suck. You're the worst, Cypher. I'm like, I kind of think Cypher's got a point.
Yeah. I was just thinking with comic books, you know how like Greek mythology, there's like all these stories about gods and stuff. I mean, every civilization has had stories about gods. The indigenous in Australia had stories about how the land was made by giant snakes, that formed the riverways. And there was all these, every civilization has had them. I wonder if when we get our past dug up in 6,000 years, they'll read these comic books and be like, these cons were crazy.
That would be wild.
These guys were cooked.
Well, I'm curious if technology will change that. Like, if computers are still going to be around in 6,000 years, so at least they'll know, like, hey, this was fiction. This was never intended to be our religion. We don't worship Batman. Yeah. I mean, I do, but not like that.
It would be so easy for computers to just be, like, computers feel like they're everything. We're so reliant, but it also feels the fragility of it all.
Oh, totally.
I mean, you wipe out the grid, they're done.
Back to the dark ages.
We are literally back to the dark age. There'd be just these big boxes that we'd use for seats and I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, so man,
that's crazy. Every day, wow. Back to the dark ages.
So how often do you do your pod?
We do it. We record like once a week.
Nice.
It's a lot of times we'll want to add B-roll to it though, which takes a little longer. So like we want to show the comic book panels that we're talking about sometimes. Yeah.
So do you do all that?
So Troy actually does like most of the editing himself. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, he's unbelievable at it. And then a lot of times like Slater and I will help make the clips.
Yeah. Smart. You guys have got a good team going.
Thanks. Yeah. No, I mean it's a lot of work, but it's so much fun to do though. Like I mean it's because it's such a different dynamic than stand up. And stand up is amazing and it's so much fun, but it's like you can only do the same jokes like X amount of times. It's cool to have that freshness of a podcast.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. There's nothing like it. Like when I have a good session in the podcast, like I just have a fun conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was really good.
Totally.
And for an hour and a half, you're completely present. You're not thinking about what's going on in the outside world. You're just like in it.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Which I'm trying to do here to not people watch. But it's so cool.
Don't worry about it. So where are you from originally?
I'm from here.
Oh, you're New York?
Yeah. I'm from New York City, born and raised.
Dude, you're a dime a dozen, you guys.
I know.
Is that the right saying? Dime a dozen?
Dime a dozen, I think, is dime a dozen? That's a great question. I feel like a dime a dozen there's a lot of
There's
us.
a lot. Okay, there's not a lot of you guys.
There's a lot of people from the New York area, but not a lot from like the actual city. Like
like born and bred New Yorkers that have like.
And that's a stupid statement because there's 8 million people in New York City. But like,
but most people that I know through comedy, because all my world is so small. It's just comedy. Most people aren't from New York.
Yeah, well, a lot of people come to New York, like because obviously the scene is so huge, and there's just like, I mean, I'm sure you've talked about this a ton, but you can just do so many spots, like a night, which is unbelievable. And I mean, that was a huge thing for me. Plus, like my whole family being here. Also, it's just like the city's like nothing else. And that being said, I've only lived in one other city, but it was Chicago, which is a fantastic city. But it's not New York.
I've heard Chicago is amazing.
Chicago's beautiful. It's awesome. It's like a cleaner New York. But things aren't out open as late, and it's so cold.
Really?
Oh my God.
Why?
It's because it's on a lake.
Okay.
So the wind chill is just brutal.
Right. Yeah, okay. And so you grew up here, and did you like in Manhattan, Brooklyn? Where?
Yeah, I grew up in Manhattan.
Wow.
My dad's from the Bronx. My mom's from Westchester, which is like a suburb outside New York. And they both always wanted to live in Manhattan. And so, yeah, my sister and I were both raised in the city. And my whole family's still here. My grandma is 93 years young, still kicking in 92 years young. Sorry, her birthday's coming up soon.
Yeah. Please leave Grandma.
Yes, we love you, Grandma.
Yeah. Dude, what is it like growing up as a child in Manhattan?
It's interesting because I didn't know anything else. Like, so it was like, it's cool. Like, you could always go to like a Broadway show or like a comedy show, go to like these amazing restaurants, just like explore the different boroughs. But you don't realize how small apartments are until you've lived in the house. So when I was in like college and I was like living in a house off campus, I was like, holy cow. Like, and like I moved back home and I was like, oh wow, there's less space here. But then I moved into my own place after living with my parents again. And I was like, oh, my parents had space. I have no space in my first apartment.
Yeah. And you must really get to know your family well.
Yeah, probably.
Living in I'm assuming it was a 3-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you guys are really on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's a very intimate space.
It is. You don't realize it until like during COVID, my sister had moved back in with my parents, and I was kind of in my own apartment. My roommates had left to go stay with their families, and like part of me wanted to stay with my parents and sister, but it just would have been too much.
Yeah,
like all of us working and like in the same space.
Yeah. Well, you got your own place anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's it like in where in Australia are you from?
Brisbane.
From Brisbane. So did you grow up in a house or an apartment?
A house.
Oh, you grew up in a house. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I grew up in two houses. One was a sort of smaller house, but it was still, I mean, I guess a lot bigger than an apartment. The other house I had was quite big. It was like a big house.
Nice.
It had like a pool, not a pool, a spa and a sauna, and it was like a
cool.
It was cool. We'd have our friends over in the afternoons. We'd like sauna, jump in the spa, like cold plunge the spa.
That sounds awesome.
It was fun. A very outdoors life. You know, like I remember riding my bike to school when I was like 7 years old.
Oh wow, that's great.
I didn't without no parents or anything, just like out the door, see you later. Like grade 2, like boop.
That's one thing I started doing in the city as an adult that we didn't have it growing up. Is like I bike everywhere now. Like I only didn't bike down here just because there was some parade and it shut down all the bike stations by me. But that's kind of how I get around Manhattan. So it used to be the subway, but like I love the city bike.
I love the city bike.
It's amazing.
And do you always do the electric ones?
I always do the electric.
Oh, dude, I fucking love it.
It's incredible, and particularly if you're trying to get to a show and like. You just don't know what's going to happen with the subway. You can just roll the dice. Like you could be stuck underground with the city bike. You control it.
It's just so nice as well. You get in the fresh air. Yeah. Like it's this time of the year. My only complaint is if you do the city bike like 3 or 4 times a day, it's a little expensive.
Do you have the annual membership?
No.
So that actually is worth getting.
Okay.
Because the annual membership's like $150, $160 for the year. But when you ride the e-bikes, it becomes so much cheaper. So like an e-bike from my place on the Upper West Side to here with the annual membership is going to be like $7.
Damn.
Yeah, so it just gets way more cost effective.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm paying at least 2.5 times that now.
Right, exactly. So it ends up like if you're city, like I city bike every day. If you're city biking every day,
I'm city biking.
It's a no-brainer then.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever I go to Broadway, I'm biking home.
And then the regular bikes are free on it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I fucking hate getting the regular
No, the regular bikes suck. I only take the regular bike to get to a station with an e-bike.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Sometimes on the weekends, late at night, it's hard to get an e-bike.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the city, like around Broadway, that midtown.
It's the worst.
And then I'm like, I'm riding those normal. It's funny how
they're so heavy.
They're heavy, but also once you just get conditioned to that comfort of the e-bike.
Yeah. I know. And people tell me, they're like, well, the e-bike's not a good workout. I'm like, I'm not trying to work out.
No.
I'm just trying to get from point A to point B.
I still think it's a pretty good workout.
Yeah, it's still
better than sitting on a subway.
Definitely better than sitting on the subway. It's good for the environment.
Yeah.
E-bikes are great.
Oh, they're fucking great. What happens to the bikes? You know how when you're just riding around like the streets and you just see one dumped on the side of the road?
Yeah.
And it's not docked?
Uh-huh.
What happens to those bikes? Because surely someone's used their account to get it out.
The bill is like $1,000 or something like that. It's like wild. Like,
what are they doing?
I don't know.
Is it just like run out of battery and they're like, oh, I'm just going to fucking leave it?
So I had an instance where I was newer to the city bike and I tried to dock one and I couldn't do it. So I just left it there in the dock, but it wasn't officially locked. I didn't realize I had to like move the thing a little upwards to get it. And someone took the e-bike and then went and like biked all around New York City. And so because I had the membership, it only cost me like $25. But I'm like tracking this person. They started off on the Lower East Side. Then they ended up in Midtown. Then they ended up on the Upper West Side. Then they were in the Bronx.
Wow.
Then they went back into Manhattan, into Brooklyn, into Queens, and then back into Manhattan. I was like, where's this person
How
going?
Did he get so many miles on a bike?
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, it was full. It was like a 30-mile bike, so it was like fully charged. But still.
Yeah.
It was like they ran. They're like, oh.
Did he dock it at the end?
He did.
Okay.
At the very least, he did do that. And what's crazy is I saw it happening too, because I was at a bar across the street and I was keeping an eye on the bike because I wanted to try docking it again, but I was with some friends and I saw the guy get on the bike and it was like in slow motion. I was like, no! And then I'm like, oh, it's too far gone.
What are you doing? Pretty dumb, by the way.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the wrong here. Yeah, I deserved it. I deserved it.
That's crazy. Now, why do you reckon that they didn't set up electricity on any of these docking stations? Because it seems to me wild. I'm an electrician, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It seems to be wild that you don't push them in their docking station and they start charging.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't know any of that, by the way. I'm learning just now that
they're all replaceable batteries. They have to come in and physically replace the batteries.
So you're saying the way they should do it is there should be electricity in the station that when you dock it, it charges automatically.
100%.
I thought it was doing that.
No.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's why those guys come in and switch the battery. Okay, that makes a lot of
don't you
sense.
think that's backwards?
It's very backwards.
It would have
stupid.
As I said, it would take a lot more money and time, but then you've got a permanent infrastructure that is actually and it's city bikes are an amazing thing the city does.
Oh, yeah.
I think they are fucking fantastic.
Bloomberg is one of the best mayors we ever had. He was the one who came up with the city bike program.
It's amazing. And every day there's more and more.
Yeah.
They just keep putting them in, which is fantastic. And they're getting rid of all the blue bikes.
Yeah.
There seems to be like they're nearly all
it's just gonna all be because then you have the chance that you have the option to just do it like with the low assist, which is kind of like the regular way, or like with the e-bike. Which I agree, it's great. Like you don't see any of the old e-bikes anymore. Like, when did you move to New York?
June.
Okay, yeah.
Last year.
Oh, so they're already gone. There used to be older e-bikes that weren't gray. They were blue. They kind of looked like the regular standard bikes.
Right.
But they'd have a battery pack attached.
Gotcha.
And you couldn't see how many miles were on it. And they were good, but they weren't as good as what they are now.
Okay. Yeah, they'll have to set up the infrastructure a bit better in the future. I wonder if even in the future you'll even be allowed to drive in Manhattan. I bet you there'll be more and more streets closed.
Kind of like Fire Island.
Yeah. Fire Island is in the festival, Fire Island?
Fire Island, like Fire Festival? No. Fire Island.
That was a crazy documentary, by the way.
Oh, well, both of them were wild. The Hulu and the Netflix one.
Oh, I haven't seen the Hulu one.
Oh, Hulu one's good. The Hulu one's really going after, like, because the Netflix one was almost was made by that ad agency that was helping them out. The Hulu one is going after that ad agency. They're like, you were just as liable as Billy McFarland in this.
Wow. Yeah. And did that Billy McFarland go to jail?
Yeah, and then he got out and tried to start Fire Festival too.
No shit.
Wild.
And then what happened? Did he do it?
I think he quit halfway through.
It just goes to show if you really believe in yourself, people will give you money.
Oh yeah. I mean, talk about like a narcissist believing his own hype. I mean, it's just like he's like Elizabeth Holmes.
But we could all. Yeah. What happened with her in the end?
I think she just went to prison. Yeah.
But it's just like we're just such a sucker for something new. We're such a sucker for like this savior complex where if someone can do something and they like can talk the talk and we think they can walk the walk, then I'll give him my money.
You got a vibe of it.
Whatever. I'll give him $1 million.
You got a vibe about him.
Yeah.
I'll elect them president.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put on Fire Festival 3. They're all saying, they go, wow, what an amazing festival.
Did you see the Elon tweet?
Oh, it's wild. Oh, you mean about the Epstein thing?
Yeah.
Wild.
I mean, it's no surprise.
Yeah, of course.
But it's, Elon, I think it almost looks worse.
Of course. Because it's like you knew.
Yeah. And also, you're just acting like a little child because you got rejected.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
You're like a little baby that didn't get his way. It's like, I don't fucking want it.
I know. It's like, how do you even take a side there?
I don't know. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
President Trump's a fucking moron.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's.
I mean, I didn't like Biden. If I had voted, I would have probably leaned more towards Republican just because I'm more a conservative person. But now, after seeing everything, I'm like, they're just all fucked up.
Politics in general in America are just in a ridiculous place. It's crazy. Also, Trump he was like a New York celebrity. And he was also a liberal for so long.
Yeah.
Like that he like gave to the Clinton campaigns and all this stuff. So like I think he was on the record saying like, hey, if I ever ran for president, I would run as a Republican because I'd be able to manipulate the base easier. And that's kind of what happened.
He doesn't give a fuck.
No, he's the opposite of like this working class hero type.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a nepo baby on like the utmost nepo baby.
Yeah. And there's, we didn't have to get too political, but I did want to discuss something quickly while it's on my mind. This big, beautiful bill that he's trying to pass.
Oh, yeah.
I know a tiny little bit about it. I don't know if you don't know anything about it, but he's
Really don't.
He's basically putting like something ridiculous, $250 billion into this golden dome, right? Which is like the Iron Dome.
Oh, like in Israel?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's going to be a golden dome of America. But then he's cutting like welfare and food stamps and stuff, and Medicare and Medicaid. So there's basically, in the next 5 years, there'll be 11 million less Americans that get free healthcare.
That's wild.
Isn't that fucking insane? Yet he's passed one of the biggest tax cuts to the millionaires and billionaires in America.
Is the bill, is he, and this is on me for, for not reading up, has it gone through or?
No, hasn't gone through the Senate yet.
Because that's the big thing about like, and I mean, that's the thing with American politics. It's just like in 2 years, if the Democrats take back the House, he's not going to be able to get anything done. So that's like the way to kind of like stop his kind of nonsense. It's like you just gotta tread water for 2 years, and then Democrats take back the House, nothing's going to get pushed through.
Isn't that the American system's bizarre because in Australia we don't do that. It's not this two-year cycle. It's 4 years in it. 4 years.
So like it's 4 years for the president, then 2 years for the House and like the midterm elections. So like some Senate elections. How does it work in Australia? Like, is it like, because like, is it like kind of like in England, like you elect a party and the party elects the leader who becomes the prime minister?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, very much same. So we don't vote for we don't have like a popular vote.
Right.
We don't vote for the prime minister. We vote for
Well, we don't
party.
have a popular vote that matters.
Right. It doesn't mean anything here?
Not really. Like
Okay.
it all comes down to the electoral college.
Is it just clout? Is that all it is?
I mean, a lot of times it will align with the electoral college, but a lot of times it doesn't, and that's what we saw in 2000, which was just like the biggest kind of controversial election we've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of it's just wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck politics.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys. Would you ever get into politics?
No.
You know what I would?
What, you would?
Yeah, I would. Because I have this, it'll probably change the older I get, but I've always had this thing, this part of me that's like, I'd like to do something, make a change one day. Maybe if I felt like my impact could be beneficial to the Australian population, I would potentially think about doing something. But the older I get, I'm like,
I mean, that's cool. That's very cool, though. Like, and I think, I think hats off to the people that do get into politics. Bill Burr had a quote recently, which I loved, where like he was at some kind of red carpet event, and they were asking him about like Trump and Elon. He's like, "What are you asking me that for?" He goes, "Ask the politicians."
Yeah.
He goes, "Who cares what a comedian thinks about like current events?" Like,
I saw that.
Yeah.
It was so true.
it's so true.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you going to ask me about Israel Palestine next?" It's just like ask the people that actually can make these decisions.
It's funny though how because comedians, like especially comedians in his
Right.
stratosphere, they are so opinionated, and people do actually care about what they say.
Yeah,
they
of course.
probably have more of an impact than a lot of politicians and stuff do.
But I think there's both the positives and the negatives to it. I think one of the things that hurts the Democrats a lot is that Hollywood is so outspoken, and like it's this idea that, hey, we're these famous actors. This is how you should vote, and it just comes off as pretentious and pandering.
Yeah. I think less and less people care about these fucking actors and what they say.
Exactly.
There's like
Who watches the Oscars anymore?
who fucking cares?
Who cares?
I can't stand I just can't stand their liberal shit, and I can't stand that they don't do anything or speak up until it's like it starts becoming popular to speak up and say something.
Right.
Like I don't know where you stand about the whole Israel-Palestine thing.
Are
Are you Jewish?
I am Jewish,
Okay,
but yeah.
So I don't have a dog in the fight, but I don't think that bombing the fuck out of Palestine is the answer. That's my
Yeah, no, I think it's a very complicated issue. Most Jews, myself included, are liberal, and Democrats. We detest Benjamin Netanyahu. But also we're American Jews. We don't vote for this guy. It's not like he has nothing to do with us. But also, I mean, I think it should go without saying, whatever's happening out there, you can't attack American Jews because of the actions.
No, you can't.
It doesn't change the atrocities that are happening in Gaza. I mean, it's horrific. But like,
couldn't they just live together? They lived together for so long. Why do they have to just bomb the fuck? Isn't there a way to just let them live peacefully in Gaza? Do you think?
I think the majority of Israelis, the majority of Palestinians probably would want that. Like, and I think and would want a two-state solution. I think it's just a failure of leadership. I think Hamas is obviously horrific. You have fascists that are kind of running the Israeli government right now. So it's just like
it's crazy.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, we're getting to global politics.
There's a lot of history there that
I know.
People that and that are people much more informed than I am can probably speak
I know.
to.
It's just, you know what? It's just, if in this day and age, war is just not the solution. Killing someone doesn't do anything. It's just a waste.
Nah, it's absolutely a waste.
And all these fuckers are going to go to hell. Like Netanyahu.
Well, Judaism, we don't believe in hell. But
okay, really? Yeah. Well, that's convenient, isn't it?
At least I don't think so. I mean, look, I'm not. I'm not the most well read on the religion. But I think, the whole concept of heaven and hell, I'm pretty sure is more of a Christian concept.
Okay, all right, fair. So how'd you get into comedy?
My dad did it actually.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my dad he tried stand-up comedy. So my sister and I were kids. He was probably in his early 40s, and he just wanted to give it a try. And he was really funny. The issue is a lot of the shit that you have to do to kind of get to the next level in comedy, he just didn't have time to do because, again, he had a family, he had this corporate job, and so it's not like he the way I started when I was 24, so I had no issues being on the street, barking, giving out flyers, doing bringer shows, doing open mics all the time, and I just don't think he had the time or the energy at that point to do it, so he kind of just let it fall by the wayside a little bit, but that it was something I always wanted to do. And as I started getting into it, he helps me write jokes sometimes. He comes out. I do a rooftop show around here actually with Spencer Wright, and a lot of times he'll come out and check out that show. And
that's amazing. Yeah, does he still get up every now and again?
He doesn't get up, but he.
Do you think he wants to sometimes?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think there's a part of him that definitely wants to. I think there's another part of him that just remembers how much went into it, which is just a lot. I always thought he would do well on a podcast, honestly. He's such a smart financial mind, and he's able to take big financial concepts and make them very palatable. I'm I don't know if he did something blending that with comedy. I always thought that could be interesting.
That's cool. So you got into it through your dad, and you're what, in your early 20s?
Yeah, I was because I was a theater kid. I was a theater kid growing up because I wasn't having sex in high school. And
was theater kid a nerdy thing to do?
It was it was a little nerdy.
Because in Australia it was a nerdy thing.
Yeah, I was definitely a little. Yeah, I was definitely I wasn't a big time theater kid. I ran track in high school and did in student government and all that other stuff. But again, so nerd.
Yeah. But it's funny that it's all the endeavors that were once appeared nerdy these guys end up being the coolest guys. Well, it's so funny how it turns like that.
It is interesting how nerd culture has kind of become popular. I mean, it's I have
more than popular. I've even playing in a band was a nerdy when you were a kid, or playing an instrument was kind of nerdy. And then these cunts are become rock stars.
It's wild.
So
yeah, no, I mean, I've way more people that pay attention to what I have to say about comic books than they do about stand-up comedy. When I talk about stand-up comedy,
there you go. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So, and then what was your baptism when you were getting into what was the moment that you?
I honestly it was getting into the intern program.
Can I say baptism to a Jew? Is that
microaggression? I think I was probably getting into the internship program at Broadway. That was huge for me because, again, I was barking, I was doing open mics, I was just doing whatever I could for stage time, but I wasn't getting that consistent stage time. And when I was able to get into the internship program, I was I'll seat like one night a week, and I'll get like 2-3 shows out of this. I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And that's how I made some of my closest friends in the comedy scene. Like, I would have never met Troy if not for interning. That's how I met Slater.
Was Troy interning?
Troy wasn't. Troy was like had just started emceeing.
Okay.
Like, but Slater was interning. Tori, Spencer, Drew, Cody. So like all of us like had like all met together. And
wow. Drew was in Drew.
Drew Biegler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't like seating, but he was kind of helping, he was doing other stuff like around the club to help. Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, Cody's still there. You don't intern there.
Not anymore now.
Yeah. And so Slater was an intern. Oh, that's so cool.
Gordy.
Who?
Do you know Gordy?
No.
Oh yeah, he works Greenwich a lot. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. It's like, it seems to me like a very, very good opportunity.
Yeah, it was really cool, and and I'm so thankful to everyone at the club, just because like, again, I was a new comic. I didn't I've seen tapes from like 2018, like when I was like starting out. I'm like, oh, I was fucking brutal.
They saw something in you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just cool, and just like giving you a place to like cut your teeth. So
yeah. That's what they say. They say all comics that you need to find somewhere to have a home where you can you can just bomb and get better. And
I'm going there today after this. I was there last night.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. You hosting? Are you?
Yeah, last night Troy was doing the taping, so I was hosting that, and then I'm just emceeing the 5:35.
Hell yeah, nice. Oh, that'll be the industry room.
So it's there. They have another show at the same time as the industry room, like an upstairs house show.
Yeah. I did see that Troy's doing like a special there.
Yeah, he did that last night.
Oh, so is that like an hour that he's doing?
Yeah, exactly. So he filmed like his big special there in March. That was a great show. That was like just super packed out. And then he did another one last night, which was a lot of fun, which was more crowd work focused.
Okay, he's amazing.
He's great. With him, it was always like. It was always a when, not if. Like the guy, he just had so much talent. I'm like, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. He's just a natural. He just doesn't seem to give a fuck, like, in a good way. He's
totally.
Just so comfortable in his own skin.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you think it's an advantage to these guys? Like, you started a lot earlier. Troy's how old would Troy be?
Troy's 29.
Yes, he's quite young still. Do you think there's an advantage to starting younger in comedy?
I'm sure. Yeah, I wish I started younger. Like, I wish I started when I was in college. Like, I started at 24, so like relatively young. But I see these guys that are like started so young, and like comics that are like 23 years old that have been doing it since they like graduate high school, and they're already so polished. And I'm like, that's amazing. Good for them.
Yeah.
The only thing is, when you start that young, I think it's a little harder to connect with the audience sometimes. It's like, what life experience do you really have?
It does seem that way.
When did you start?
So I started a few years ago in Australia. I started like 4 years ago. It was kind of after COVID, and then I did like 15 open mics in Australia.
Cool.
Over about a year and a half. Because
was that in Brisbane or
in Brisbane? Nice. Yeah, it wasn't that I wanted to do more. The issue was that I couldn't get any more open mics. There was really one open mic being run in my city a week.
Gotcha. And is Brisbane the big scene, or is it more Melbourne or Sydney?
Melbourne, Sydney, the bigger scenes, but Brisbane's starting to become better now.
Gotcha.
So I just couldn't get any more opportunity than that. And then I didn't touch it again for like 3 years. And then when I came to New York in June, I just started.
Wow.
So still pretty fresh. I'm a year in now. I say like now I'm a year in of like taking it seriously.
That's amazing, because I've seen your stuff. You're very polished up there.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I got a long way to go, but I appreciate it.
No, I mean it's all a 10,000 hours thing. But I would have expected you said you've been doing it for like 5 years. Or something.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I mean, I love it. I just.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
I really do. The only issue is just always getting more stage time.
Totally.
That's it. Everyone just wants more stage time.
Absolutely.
More stage time. So
it's a great way to be spending nights.
Yeah, it really is. So what is your day job?
I work in advertising.
Oh, cool. You're an ad man. Do you like Mad Men?
I do. It's actually my favorite show.
It's so fucking good.
It's so good.
The simplicity of it as well. They just really found a way to like cut a good show. Like it's just really good writing.
If you told people like the plot of every episode, you'd be like, nothing's going on, and then you watch it and you're so engrossed.
You know what it is as well? You've got these handsome men in these suits, and they look fucking suave. Yeah. These beautiful women in these gorgeous dresses.
Oh, absolutely.
they walk like they don't have a worry in the world, like they're in control. I don't know. There's something about the way that they cast very good characters in that.
Yeah, no, it's
The way
incredible.
they're smoking, they make you want to smoke cigarettes.
It's true. It's so true. It's so cool.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
I remember I was in college watching that show, and I would watch like John Hamm as Don Draper drink like whiskey straight, and I was like, I want that, and I would drink it, and I was like, this sucks. This is because this was also college whiskey. It's not like I was drinking like Johnny Walker Blue. I was drinking like shitty like Jack Daniels. Like
But it's true. It's funny how they just make it. You're like, I want that. Yeah, there's something about that show. Damn.
yeah, no, it's fucking cool. It's not quite like that anymore.
No. I bet it's not like that at all.
No, not even remotely.
Would it have been like that back in the day?
I'm sure to an extent, for sure. Like they're also like I work in the media department. Like advertising now has become so media and digital focused, which they even start alluding to near the end of Mad Men. Like the bad guy, who's Jim Cutler, like wants to move away from creative and he wants to focus more on data-driven insights and precision media buys. And everyone's like, boo, you suck, Jim Cutler. But we only feel that way because he's opposed to Don and Roger, who are the main characters. But Jim's vision for the advertising world was actually correct. And Don and Rogers was actually pretty archaic. Like this focus on just like creative personalities and not having insights backing it.
Interesting. And then, so have you found that with AI and stuff like that, the way that the world is, the direction it's moving into, have you felt that in your space in particular, that jobs are threatened? Because I asked this because I read an article the other day that they think in the next 1 to 5 years, like 50 to 70% of jobs in the tech world are going to.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Whether or not that's true or not.
I'd say AI is playing a huge role in advertising. I don't think it's really affecting the jobs of people I know as much because AI is only so good. You still need humans to understand how to best utilize it. It's more understanding like everyone loves talking about AI, everyone loves talking about machine learning, the big buzzwords now, but how can you actually apply it to the work that you're doing? So like media buying, for instance, which is a big part of what I do. How do you apply?
So what's media buying?
Media buying is the placements where you're actually going to run the ads. So for instance, like say you have a client, Coca-Cola, and they're trying to reach people ages 25 to 34 in New York City that make X amount of money. Like you're targeting that audience. And you're targeting the places that they're going to be. So running ads on Facebook, running ads on YouTube, running ads on ESPN. So understanding like how you can use audience targeting to reach the right audience through media.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, and machine learning and AI plays a big role in that, as in like algorithms for like finding the right audience, building out remarketing. So if someone clicks on an ad, retargeting them again so they see the ad again, building out lookalikes. So using machine learning to identify people that look like other people that engage with your ads. So it's using AI, but again, it's knowing how to use it. So like you still need humans to be able to utilize. So I think you need to be able to adapt to the times. So anyone that doesn't know how to use AI, they are going to be left behind. But AI itself, I don't see it replacing humans as much.
All this world seems to be becoming is this thing where you're just trying to attract a human's attention, and then extract their money.
Absolutely,
that's kind of all it is, isn't
that's
it?
everything, yeah. That's what we do in comedy too.
Literally,
for sure.
It's literally the algorithm of life. It seems to be. Jesus Christ, we're gonna have fun walking home. It is.
Oh, I know.
Pouring down.
Oh boy,
man. I didn't bring an umbrella.
Neither did I. Well, it was beautiful out before.
I know.
Yeah,
it's so goddamn good. I normally keep one in my bag as well.
I know.
But I took it out because I'm an idiot. So what's on with the comedy calendar, man? What do you got on this year? We're nearly halfway through the year already.
Yeah. In the first half, was on the road about like once a month with Troy. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So him and Slater and I got to do Nashville. And then we did a little Western Canada tour. So like Edmonton, Calgary, Kelowna, Victoria. So that was really cool. Did my first theater, so that was fun. Opening for him in Toronto.
Congrats.
Thank you. That was really cool.
Are you finding that doing these opening spots is helping you a lot as well as a comedian?
Yeah, well, it's great. It's because it's when you get to feature, you're doing like 20, 25 minutes, pure material. The audience is so hot, and it's like I would say Broadway has really been great preparation for that because you get so many people from all over. Like, because it's in Times Square, you're getting a lot of tourists from, like, not just the U.S., but, like, internationally as well. So you understand what can work with those audiences as opposed to just only performing for New Yorkers. Obviously, I love performing for New Yorkers as a New Yorker, but it's good to get that experience.
100%. Okay, cool. So you're getting when you're opening for Troy, for example, you're doing 20 minutes up top.
Yeah,
Wow.
or generally they'll have an MC, and then I'll be in the middle doing 20, 25 minutes, and then he'll do his hour. And sometimes I'll MC it.
Wow. Ah, dude, that's such good exposure.
It's fun. Yeah, we're doing Seattle next week, whenever this is released. So the week of the 15th.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, this will be released in probably like 2-3 weeks.
Okay, so we did Seattle two prior weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago. All right, so you got a few more few more things on the calendar this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's fucking sick.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm impressed. So how long did you do the interning at Broadway for?
4 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a long time.
That seems to be the time in which a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
Like it seems to be the 4 years seems to be like.
Yeah, like 2018 to like 2023-ish, and then obviously not 2020 because of the pandemic. So,
Yeah, okay. What happened with comedy in the pandemic was
I didn't do it as much, but like it still was going around in the New York scene. Like,
were people still going to clubs?
Less so. People were doing more outdoor shows.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have the show I do with Spencer is a rooftop show around here. We started that in late 21 because there was still fewer indoor shows. So we're like, why don't we do it on a rooftop? And we just kind of like the vibe of that.
Oh, that's awesome. And you're still doing that now?
Yeah, we had one last night.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's cool.
Thanks.
And how is it
it's literally like 2 blocks away. It's on 112 Stanton Street.
That's amazing. How have you gone for marketing for these shows? Like what's been your
Yeah, it's a great question. So I mean I come from the marketing background, so it's helpful there. So we do some paid ads, him and I, but a lot of PR. Like we started off with like some more niche kind of publications. Like there was this one Cool Stuff NYC, Nonsense NYC, which is just like cool listserv about like underground stuff in New York. And then eventually we were able to get into Time Out. And then through being in Time Out, we were able to get like a big audience that like outside people we knew. And so even though we haven't been featured there that much lately, we got so many people from that prior. So we have a big listserv. And then we got Gothamist at one point, and that was pretty cool. That was like Gothamist did a piece on us, so that was helpful. And then just through those pieces of press, we were able to get this kind of listserv. And then so then every time we have a show, we just email all the people on the email chain.
That's amazing. And then you get that's amazing. I feel like that's the hardest thing that's like why I've never wanted to produce a show because it seems like half the shows I go to of comics that are in my sort of still in the open micers and stuff. Right. The shows is like 3 people there.
Yeah, well, it's also
really
like
difficult.
We used to do it once a month, and we stopped doing that just because we'd have to keep finding new venues, whether it was art galleries or restaurants, and we're just like, you know what, we're just going to do 4 or 5 summer shows, like do it on this rooftop that my friends have, and it's just much easier to pack it out that way.
Yeah. Do you like doing comedy in open air?
I love it. I wouldn't say I like it more than club setting, but it's like what we were talking about at the top of the hour. It's just like any kind of cool change of pace.
Yeah. I did a show the other day for my friends. It's Bowl Cut Comedy, and we did it.
That's a good name.
Yeah, we were standing in a baby pool while doing it.
That's funny.
It was really funny. Yeah, it was interesting. Everyone's trying to push different things. I got a friend who's doing Nico DeGaio. I don't know if you know him, but he does this thing called shock therapy where he puts on stim pads on people and electrically shocks them while they're performing.
Wild.
That's weird. Hey?
That is weird. That's really. Who shocks them? Is it like?
So it's remote control. You can do it from your phone.
Does the audience get to do it?
So he does it. He's going to change. Apparently he's changing the concepts. He's going to sort of play around with them, but. The idea was when they're bombing, he's going to shock them, but I don't know if he does that now. I think he's just shocking them whenever.
Wow.
But it's kind of...
That's wild.
Would you do it?
Depends on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that I wouldn't do it, and then I went and watched the show. I was like, yeah, it's not that bad.
Okay.
These guys aren't that hurt. But at first, when he told me, I had taken some mushrooms one night, and he told me, and I was like, it got me really sad.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's like kind of sadistic. I don't know if I want to be involved in that. But yeah, man, that's cool. Well, let's wrap this up. Do you want to give everyone your socials?
Yeah. I'm at Brent Birnbaum on Instagram and at Secret Identity Pod on TikTok, YouTube, and Secret_Identity Pod on Instagram.
Hell yeah, man. Well, listen, dude, thanks for coming on.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, likewise.
See you on the next one, guys. Hey, guys, thanks for listening to this episode of Going After It with Cam Bird. Produced by Cam Bird. Podcast edited by Calpit. Music by Brian Rigby. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And if you can, get after it.